Coming up next, more of your favorite music. Oh, come on, please, just stop, because when you say, coming up, more music, what you're really saying, hey, listener, absolutely nothing interesting is about to happen here, but I just needed to kill 3 seconds. And that is not a tease, that is verbal styrofoam, so just quit it. Hey there, I am Jeff, the radio DJ dude. I've been rocking major market mics since I was 15, and I'm here to infuse some fun back into radio. And we are going deep into one of the most powerful, overlooked, criminally underused radio skills on the planet. Yes, I'm talking about teasing upcoming content. Now, good jocks can deliver content with flair, but great jocks, they know how to tease it. And once you understand how this works, your breaks start feeling like part of an actual show. You create movement, you create curiosity, you create a reason for people to stick around, and this is crazy, listen longer. I mean, what?
We are on the air.
And I get it, some of you are already thinking, great, another skill I'm supposed to magically master before lunch. Don't worry, I've got a free tip sheet and even a prompt to help you write stronger teases without staring at your screen like it owes you money. But before we get to the cheat sheet, we need to talk about why teasing actually matters, because this is one of those old school radio skills that used to be everywhere. And stick around to hear why this veteran programmer does not agree with my take on teases. And teasing now in RadioDJ? What? Now, the idea for this video hit when I stumbled across some old aircheck session notes from one of my best PDs throughout my career, John Paul, when I was working at the radio network Westwood One, and actually I noticed good teases. He said it. It must be true, right? And it just got me thinking, you know, I don't hear a lot of these teases anymore. And back in these days, we were mandated to put together really short and snappy tease material to promote upcoming phoners or contests or other fun bits.
And back with brand new tunage from Kenny Chesney. My name is Jeff Scott. Okay, in less than 10 minutes, you're going to hear a girl defend her lack of facial hair.
I ain't got no mustache, but...
See how that goes.
Now, you do still hear decent teasing on morning radio. A host might say, coming up in 7 minutes, the one thing your partner does that proves they were raised by wolves. Okay, now, I'm probably staying around for that. Or at 8:20, we'll tell you why a local guy got banned from the grocery store over a rotisserie chicken. Hell yeah, I definitely need that in my life. But outside of morning radio, during regular shifts, especially voice track shifts, I mean, teasing has almost vanished. And on internet radio, oh, come on, just forget it. Most internet stations are just firing songs into the void with a sweeper every third song saying, the best mix of the 70s, 80s, 90s, and today. Well, first of all, pick a lane. Second of all, that's not radio. That's just a playlist wearing a fake mustache. Now, teasing doesn't have to be complicated, but it does require intention. We think teasing means naming the category of what's coming up. Coming up, music trivia. No. Coming up, entertainment news. Still no. A real tease opens a loop. It plants a tiny unanswered question in the listener's head. You're not just saying, here's what's next. You're saying something is coming and your brain is going to be mildly annoyed until it finds out what it is. Now that's the magic. That is the little radio fishhook. And no, I don't mean tricking people. I'm not talking about scammy clickbait garbage where the payoff is, you won't believe what happened next. And then what happened next is some dude bought a tuna sandwich. No. A good tease makes a promise. But a great tease makes a promise and then actually pays it off. If you tease something and you don't deliver, well, your listeners are going to remember, maybe not consciously, but their brain's going to file you away under, oh, these people waste my time. And that is not the folder that we want to be in. So let's take a boring tease and give it a little radio CPR. So bad tease. Coming up, we've got some 80s trivia. Now, if you like audio cardboard, that is perfect. But a better tease, coming up in 2 songs, the massive 80s hit that almost never got released because record producers hated the title. Okay, now we've got something there. The listener has questions. Well, what song? Which producers? How dumb were these people? And most important, do I need to sit through these next 2 songs to find out? Now that right there, that is teasing. Or let's say you have a listener call coming up. Bad tease, more dedications after this. Come on, that's the audio equivalent of room temperature oatmeal. A better tease, after the break, Jenny explains why she broke up with a guy because of one song he kept playing in the car. And honestly, I'm not sure she was wrong. Okay, now I'm sticking around because I want to know the song, I want the story, and I probably want to judge both people involved because I'm just a caring member of society. But the absolute best way to tease a call is with the call. I'm Jem and Jeff Scott with Tipsy Susie.
I had a pet rooster that chased cars and he was mean and he died and I put him in the freezer.
Okay, enough. In less than 7 minutes, the saga of Susie and her frozen pecker.
The key is simple. You tease the hook, not the category. You don't tease music news, you tease the band that accidentally fired their own lead singer by email. You don't tease a local event, you tease the town festival that somehow includes a pancake breakfast, a petting zoo, and competitive axe throwing, because apparently liability insurance is just a suggestion now. See, specific beats generic every time. And this isn't just for live radio. In fact, voice tracking probably needs teasing more than ever. One of the biggest problems when you voice track a show is every break could feel like a separate little island. Song ends, DJ talks, song starts, and later, the same thing. There's no forward motion. There's no sense that the hour actually has a pulse. It's just audio Lego blocks stacked by someone who maybe had coffee or maybe didn't. But when you tease ahead, suddenly the whole show feels connected. You're creating little bridges. Another example, in 2 songs, I'll tell you why this next artist refused to sing one of their biggest hits live for years. Then, 2 songs later, you pay it off. Boom! Now your listener feels like the station is going somewhere. It feels planned. It feels alive. It feels like there's actually somebody behind the wheel. Even if that break was recorded Tuesday afternoon while you were wearing pajama pants and questioning your life choices. And for internet radio, this is a massive opportunity because so many internet stations are still operating like this. Song, song, sweeper, song, generic voice track, song, another sweeper that sounds like it was produced during a hostage situation. That means the bar isn't just low, it's actually in the dirt. So if you start using real teases, even simple ones, you instantly sound more alive than most of the stations out there. You're not just playing songs, you are programming an experience. And yeah, I know that sounds like something a consultant would say while they're wearing a Bluetooth headset in an airport lounge. But unfortunately, it's still pretty damn true. The listener, and you've heard these lips ramble on about this before, they could get that music anywhere. They can get the Journey, the Madonna, the Prince, the Bon Jovi, the George Strait, the Nirvana, the Taylor Swift, whatever flavor of audio pudding that your station serves, they could get all that from 66,000 other places. But what they cannot get everywhere is you, your personality, your sense of humor, your timing, your listener drops, your features, your weird obsession with the year 1985. That is your sauce. And teasing actually helps people notice the sauce. Here's the basic tease formula. What is coming? Why should I care? And when do I get it? That's it. Content, curiosity, timing. Coming up in 6 minutes, the one-hit wonder that made millions, disappeared, and then somehow ended up in a toothpaste commercial. So what's coming? Well, a one-hit wonder story. Why should I care? It's weird and oddly specific. And when do I get it? Yep, in 6 minutes. Now right there, that is a tease. Timing matters more than people think also. Coming up later, that's mushy. In a few minutes, that's okay. In 2 songs, now that's better. Right after this break, that's strong. At 4:30, very clear. The shorter the wait, the stronger the tease. If you say, coming up later today, well, that may technically be true, but to the listeners, that means sometime between now and the heat death of the universe. That doesn't create urgency. That just creates fog. And fog is not your friend, unless you're doing a Halloween weekend or a very dramatic Whitesnake intro. And whatever you do, you have to pay it off when you said you were going to. Don't tease something for 4:30 and then run it at 4:22. You don't tease something after the break and then forget because your log looked at you funny. Your tease is a promise. Break the promise enough times and listeners, they just stop trusting you. And when listeners stop trusting you, well, bye-bye. They leave. They don't send an e-card either. They just vanish like your last program director during budget cuts. And please do not over-tease weak content. If the payoff is, the artist's favorite color was blue, well, don't tease that like it's the Kardashians landing on the moon. Coming up next, the shocking color secret behind one of music's biggest legends. Then the secret is blue? No, straight to radio jail for you. Your tease should match the size of the payoff. Small payoff? Well, small tease. Big payoff? Yeah, bigger tease. Now, weird payoff will make the weirdness the hook. Useful payoff will make the benefit the hook. Ha ha ha! Funny payoff will set up the joke without stepping on it. This is where the free prompt and tip sheet that I've got for you will help you out a lot. It gives you a structure so you're not just trying to invent radio from scratch every time you open your mouth. And the goal is not to make you sound fake. The goal is to stop you from saying the same damn thing, the lazy stuff that every other jock says. But don't take this loudmouth's word for it. I've got veteran programmer RJ Jordan queued up to share his thoughts, and to be honest, they're a little different than mine.
You know, I've always been a little bit of a contrarian. I don't believe in teasing across quarter hours. I never have. When you're on the mic, say something meaningful, give them compelling content. Thinking you're going to hold somebody across a quarter hour when we already know how listeners utilize radio, I think is a fool's errand. We know that your listening audience turns over every few minutes. We've learned that from the personal people meter data in the bigger markets. However, I do believe in teases for other day parts, recycling, both vertically and horizontally. Maybe tomorrow on the morning show, your morning show host has a great interview. So I'm not talking, hey, tomorrow morning, wake up with news, weather, and sports and Jobo in the morning. That means nothing. That's wallpaper. But if Jobo is doing a tremendous interview with a big superstar, maybe you don't even say the name of the superstar. Maybe you say one of the biggest acts in country music on the air tomorrow with Jobo, and guess what? Hasn't been announced yet. He and his wife expecting their first baby. Find out who tomorrow morning at 7:10. That's a compelling tease, and you're not letting the cat out of the bag, and it's a tangible tease, right? You're actually giving just enough information to hook the listener in and to get them to listen tomorrow. If you can get every one of your P1s to give you 1 or 2 more listening occasions a week, your TSL is going to skyrocket. The kind of teases I do like, though, are actually within the quarter hour, and they're called the guarantees. I worked with a consultant once. The whole idea is when you go into spots, you tease the song coming up next without saying the name of the song. Again, we have a little bit of mystery here. Perhaps you say, coming up next, I'm going to play a song recorded in the dark underwater at 5:30 in the morning. The heck is that? I literally have a favorite song that was recorded in the dark underwater at 5:30 in the morning. I got to find out what this song is, get the rest of the story. Bam. They listen through spots.
And super cool, this tease payoff idea is something I'm also working into a future release of RadioDJ, my AI DJ system. The new feature will create tease and payoff content as two separate voice tracks. One track sets up the hook and the later track pays it off. But you don't need RadioDJ to start doing any of this. Just use that free prompt, use the tip sheet, use a notebook, use the back of a Waffle House napkin. I don't care. The tool is not the point. The habit is the point. Before your next shift, write 3 teases. One for a song fact, one for a station feature, maybe one for a listener interaction, a contest, promo, or weird little bit you already run. Then listen back and ask yourself one brutally honest question. Would I stay for that? And if the answer is no, well, rewrite it. If the answer is yes, ha-ha! Congratulations! You have just rediscovered one of radio's oldest and best tricks. So go get it. Grab that free tip sheet and prompt, link below. Give it a spin and start turning your breaks into something that actually pulls people forward. Yes, good jocks deliver the content. Great jocks make you want it before it even gets there. And bad jocks, well, they say, more music coming up. Please, don't be that dude or dudette. Okay, if you got anything out of this little tease-a-palooza, I would love a like and a subscribe from sweet little you. I do thank you. I am Jeff, the Radio DJ dude, and until our next little radio rendezvous, you keep teasing the hell out of those mics all over the world.